It's a very physical taking over of your body.
Waves and waves of cramping and pain. Sweating, shaking, sickness.
These women are describing something we don't often hear about. What it feels like to have an abortion.
Lying down on the platform was actually me panicking.
And abortion laws in England mean some women are going through this in public.
There are women being sick in taxis, bleeding on trains, on buses.
If I hadn't had somebody with me to make me get up, I don't really know what would have happened.
The abortion pill is now the most common way for women to terminate a pregnancy early on.
So this is the first tablet that women take in the clinic, and that's to get the process going. That's followed up 24 to 48 hours later by a second type of medication, and usually most women will pass the pregnancy within about 4 hours.
Now, the current law in England states that women have to take both sets of tablets within a hospital or a clinic. They've then got to make the journey home back from the clinic while they wait for the abortion process to begin. But once you've taken that second tablet, it can start to happen really quickly. I've come to meet Claudia, who had an abortion last year. She took a taxi home from the hospital after taking the pill, but within minutes of getting in, the symptoms had started.
So I started to feel really unwell and just extremely nauseous, and was kind of getting that feeling in my chest like I might be about to throw up. And then I started getting cramping at the same time. I just didn't want to be sick in the taxi, and I was just really wanted to get home. You're very much feeling like something's happening to you which you have no control over.
So when you got into your flat, how quickly did things start to escalate?
In between getting out of the taxi and the symptoms really starting that very physical and uncontrollable sense, that was like a minute. I didn't quite make it to the toilet, and I started kind of retching and being really unwell on the bathroom floor. And then you kind of lose control of your bowel movements.
Do you think about what could have happened if you'd just been 5 minutes later?
I mean, I know what would have happened if it had been 5 minutes later. If it had been 5 minutes later, all of those symptoms would have been happening on the floor of the taxi. I would have been sick in the taxi, I would have started bleeding in the taxi, and I would have started losing control of my bowels in the taxi. I lived 15 minutes away from a hospital. Not every woman lives 15 minutes away from a hospital.
It was so traumatic and so unexpected. It just feels like it happened to somebody else. 20 minutes into the journey on the tube towards home, I started to feel the effects of the pill kicking in. Started to feel nauseous, started to sweat, started to get cold, went extremely pale apparently. And then the pain and the nausea was so extreme that I had to get off the tube. I lay down on a bench in the tube and basically just decided that I wasn't going to move any further. It was so painful and so frightening that to scream would have been to completely give in to it.
Doctors and politicians around the country are now urging the Health Secretary to follow what other countries are doing and allow women here to take the second pill home with them.
We know that when women are allowed to take the second tablet at home, that it is safe, it's highly effective, and they much prefer it.
You've talked about the current system punishing women. Is that how you see it?
I do feel it's a strong word, punishment, but I can't see how anyone who wants to improve the care for women wouldn't agree that this is the most sensible way to go forward.
How did you feel knowing that you were starting to pass your pregnancy and you were in this hugely public place?
I felt scared and exposed, and it just felt really unfair. You know, maybe I was very unlucky to be in that small percentage of people that it happens within 30 minutes, but if it happens, then it does.
There's no medical reason women have to take the pill in a clinic. In fact, the World Health Organization recommends they take it at home. We're in Scotland, where 6 months ago they changed the law to allow women to do this.
We give them this box to take home containing the second part of medication, and they will 24, 48 hours later put the tablets under the tongue. We also make sure that women know what signs and symptoms might mean that they need to seek medical advice. But also one of the specialist nurses will carry a mobile phone during office hours so they can phone if they've got any worries. We're going to have to write a new protocol.
Sharon Cameron has overseen the rollout of the new system here in Edinburgh. How many women are taking you up on the option of taking the pill home?
So of the women who are able to choose this, who are in early pregnancy, 8 out of 10 have chosen to take the treatment at home. About 1,000 women. So that shows that it's a really popular option and that this is what women want to do. We did wonder whether we might have more phone calls from women to our helpline. We haven't observed that at all. So that's really reassuring that women feel that they are getting enough information. We've also looked at the numbers of women who are coming back to our service or to the hospital with a complication, and that's really low and it's not changed at all.
Forcing women to make 2 trips to the clinic carries an even greater risk than passing a pregnancy on the way home. Those who struggle to get to a clinic may break the law by buying pills and taking them elsewhere. Kate Guthrie has worked in abortion care for 30 years, but now helps women here in Britain who want to buy pills over the internet.
Women are accessing online abortion pills. I absolutely know that's the case.
So in a country where abortion is legal, women are breaking the law?
Absolutely. Abortion's legal, but it's not accessible. We think we're setting up services to suit women, but nobody's asking the women. Women are voting with their feet, they're going online. So we've got it all wrong.
What are the risks of buying pills online?
You've got no idea what's in the pill, and work has been done with different medication to show that what you think you're buying is not what you're buying. You don't know what the dose is.
Since Kate's service launched 18 months ago, more than 2,000 women have contacted her asking for pills. And over the past 3 years, drug enforcement officers have seized almost 10,000 sets of pills heading to addresses in Britain. What reasons do women give you for wanting to buy the pills?
A lot of it is, I'm a single parent or I'm a single mother and I've got children to look after. Women have accessed help saying, you know, the nearest clinic's 150 miles away, and they are. For a lot of women, any visits are difficult, but the additional visits even worse.
The second trip caused big problems for Lois, who had to travel in bad weather with a baby.
Half an hour walk with a pushchair in the snow, and when I arrived at the clinic, there was nobody there.
The clinic was unexpectedly closed.
And I was horrified because I was thinking, well, what on earth am I supposed to do? I've got to have these second set of pills. You know, does this mean this abortion isn't going to work? What if I'm still pregnant? I had all these horrible thoughts going in my head.
She then had to wait an agonising 3 weeks before finding out the abortion had worked.
It's taken me a long time to not blame myself for what happened.
The whole thing has clearly upset you an awful lot.
Yeah, it's very upsetting, and I wouldn't change my mind now if someone was to ask me. I know that it was the right decision that I made for my family. I haven't added to my family in any way since, and it's something that I've only really just begun to process. No one's saying that doing this is pleasant, but the added strains, the added pressure just made it far, far worse.
To get around these difficulties, some clinics and hospitals now allow women to take both sets of pills on the same day, even though this increases the risk of complications.
Having a healthcare system which does not look after women is a risky system, and it's just not acceptable.
One argument used against the change you want to see is that this would encourage more women to have abortions. It would make abortion too easy.
Allowing women to take the second tablet at home is not going to increase the number of abortions. This is not DIY abortion care. It's just saying that we're trusting them to take this in a place where they can be more comfortable and have more privacy and dignity. It is not changing the regulation of abortion in this country.
What difference would it have made to you to be able to take the pills at home?
I would have been able to have everything that one needs, no movement, a comfortable bed, hot water bottle, painkillers. You know, I didn't have any of that. I had to sit on a moving train, lie on a hard wooden bench, be gawked at by men in suits.
So this is the letter that I wrote to the health minister. So it goes, 1 year ago, I took the abortion pill.
With Wales following Scotland's lead, it's now only women in England who can't take the pill at home, putting pressure on the Health Secretary to act.
Allowing home use of the pill for abortions would save the NHS money and save thousands of women like me from pain and distress. You personally have the power. There are women on buses, there are women in taxis and cars and on tubes going through what I went through right now, and the health minister could change that overnight. Yet, day by day, more women are being put through that experience. So that makes me angry, very angry. Please listen to my experience and that of so many women and take this simple action so that other women in England do not have to face the same ordeal.
The Department of Health and Social Care have told us and Claudia that they're looking at the evidence on this and monitoring the situation in Scotland.
We have all the evidence. Everyone is doing it. It's fine. You're putting women through this experience for no reason.